Hello, welcome back or welcome to my channel. My name is Taylor and today we're going to do TBR prompts, pick my May TBR. But before I open the video, remember to like, comment, and subscribe if you love all things books. Now here's a little... housekeeping. You did not get a video last week. I was traveling and after that, if you can't tell already by either the redness around my nose or the quality of my voice, I got quite ill this past weekend/week. So yeah, I think I'm on the tail end. However, I'm still definitely very congested. So if I'm not seeming the most high energy in this video, that is why. But we do have our monthly TBR to pick from. Now in the month of May, everything starts to slow down on the college campus that I work at. So I'll have a lot more time to read. And I told you starting in May, we would start doing our TBR takedowns. So you're going to see me making it through the physical TBR this month, or this coming month, considering it's still April. And if anyone's asking how I've done on reading in my physical or TBR I picked out for April, let's not talk about that, because it's not going great. Yeah. Motivation to do anything this past month has been absolutely low. With work, graduation season, travel, and wedding, and being sick, accomplishing anything right now has been been a chore. But if you're new to these types of videos that I do, I have my little Taylor Swift cup in here with a bunch of prompts. I do just kind of add new prompts into the old prompts every year, so you may see some repeats if you've watched some of my past videos. So we are going to pick 6 prompts. We try to pick 4 physical books to read and 2 Kindle books to read because we have a long TBR both physically, digitally, and audio. And I guess without further ado, let's go ahead and pick out our 6 prompts. Okay, prompt number 1 is a small town romance. Cool, cool. We need something silly, goofy, light, and sweet because life hasn't been feeling silly, goofy, light, and sweet for me lately. Okay, prompt number 2. Taylor Swift inspired. Oh, you know, it's kind of funny because I'm currently, to get me through the day, I'm watching Taylor Swift, The Eras Tour, the final show. That's literally what is queued up on my TV right now. I don't know if I have any books that are outright Taylor Swift inspired. What I may do for this prompt is I'll put my Taylor Swift playlist on shuffle, and whatever song pops up, we will pick a book inspired by that song. Okay, our third prompt is an out-of-comfort zone read. Well, I don't really want to drift out of my comfort zone right now, which granted, who knows what I'm going to feel in May. But out of my comfort zone, well, my comfort zone is pretty, especially right now, in very much so romance and spicy romance particularly. I have been reading more thrillers. I don't know if that's my comfort zone. And fantasy, it's been a bit of a slog to get through fantasy, but I'd say literary fiction, non-fiction, probably, well, I mean non-fiction. So I'd say literary fiction is probably the most out of my comfort zone alongside sci-fi. So we'll see. We'll see where we go with that one. And then our 4th prompt is a red book. Well, I think I have 2 red books. I have 2 red books, 3 red books. Well, 1, yep. Okay, I have a few red books to choose from. Okay, prompt number 5. A person on the cover. Well, that shouldn't be too hard. This goes for both a real and a animated cover person, so I don't know if I'll pick something physically for that one or if I'll just simply pick on my Kindle, because I'm sure there's plenty of Kindle Unlimited reads with people on the cover, especially those cringy men on covers scenes. And then lastly, mythology. Something with a mythology twist to it. Okay. Let's go to our physical TBR shelf and see what we be picking. Oh. Whew. Sometimes I do find when I'm sick, I get more rude or sarcastic, so you may be seeing that come out through this video. This is where the physical TBR currently stands right now. As you can see, she's packed, she's settled, and there's a lot to choose from. I will say I have a lot more read books than I thought, a lot more that are piquing my interest, but the first one that I know for sure that we can pick is mythology, so these two books right here. I kind of feel like I need to read What the River Knows, because that is specifically about Egyptian mythology, and I've been saying I'm going to read it for years. And it's been on my TBR multiple times. And then Zodiac Legacy incorporates Asian mythology. I'm not sure if you consider the Chinese zodiac mythology or not, and it's the second book in a series where I gave the first book 5 stars. But I think because I've been putting this book off forever and a day, for our mythology pick, we're going to do What the River Knows. There are a couple books I could have picked for person on the cover, but I've been seeing this cover all over the world, and I think that it's got picked up for a movie or TV show. This ain't our first rodeo. I bought this book. Now, I did read the blurb and the synopsis, but I did buy it because the cover was pretty. And since person on the cover is pertaining to the cover, I'm going to pick this one. Alright, we have a few red books to pick from. To Cage a Wild Bird is a dystopian romance situation that I've been seeing talked about all over my For You page. And then Burn the Ashes, a classic. And then Girl of My Nightmares is the sequel to something I can't remember the title of right now, but it's kind of a horror-ish novel. And then Vicious 5VE Schwab, I've just seen everyone and their mother talk about. However, given that I'm kind of going with the hype right now, and I guess dystopian's been on my mind, especially with the release of the new Sunrise on the Reaping trailer, let's choose To Cage a Wild Bird for our red book. Now, for out of my comfort zone read, I'm kind of cheating, but not really. So The Poisoner by Ivy Ophelia is a gothic romance with vampires in it. Now, is gothic romance out of my comfort zone? Not necessarily. But everyone on this channel knows how hard I've tried to fall in love with vampire romance and stories. And I just have failed to do so. And yet I keep buying them. So I'm going to pick this up because I love to torture myself. So for our out of comfort zone read, it's going to be this vampire romance. Now we're moving on to picking our Kindle prompts. Now the first one being Small Town Romance. This shouldn't be too hard. Small Town Romance is pervasive amongst, you know, Kindle Unlimited reads, especially nowadays, especially with cowboy romance on the rise. Although I think I only have like one true small town romance downloaded, and I think she's a quick, spicy, sweet little number, and that's Sip's About to Go Down by Audrey Vaughn. I don't know too much about it other than I saw the title of the second book, Just the Tipsy, and I was like, well, I need to read things in order, however, I'm intrigued. If you're going to give me a punny, innuendo, double entendre filled title, I will be investigating that. So Sip's About to Go Down will be our small town romance. Now for TS inspired, I don't know if I have any books in here that are specifically Taylor Swift inspired. However, I do currently have my Taylor Swift playlist pulled up. So I think what we're going to do is I'm just gonna, like, well, You're Not Sorry's playing right now, but it's at the end, so I'm not going to use this song. Basically, I'm just going to skip through the next 3 songs, and of those 3 songs, we're going to pick a book that matches at least one of them. So, I did something bad. Oh, feminine rage. I can pick a book based off of this alone. I know for damn sure. Next one. The Bolter. Okay, The Bolter. Yeah, obviously. And then our last one to pick from, Happiness. See, I think we won with I Did Something Bad. The first round of. I'm going to choose Daggermouth. Of course I am. Of course I am. I've been wanting to read this for a while, and I just haven't sat down to read it yet. So Daggermouth, I'm quite sure that fits Feminine Rage to an absolute T, because that's basically how everyone and their mama describes that book. And I do own it physically, and I have the Kindle copy. So we are ready. We are locked down. Let's go through all the books that I picked for my TBR this month. Alright, so the first book that we picked for May's TBR is for mythology, and that's What the River Knows by Isabel Ibanez. So this is a historical novel following a girl whose parents are anthropologists or archaeologists studying ancient artifacts in Egypt, and of course a mystery ensues where she is basically sent off to live with someone else, romance, so on and so forth. I'm not going to be reading the backs of these books because, like I said, my energy levels are low. But yeah, if you know anything about me, I am very interested in Egyptian mythology. I have been since I was a kid. I've based some of my undergraduate research around it. Makes sense. Then for our person on a cover. This ain't our first rodeo. Now this is a YA book following two teenagers who met when they were kids years ago. And now all I know is this is a second chance YA romance and it's cowboys. And look at that cover. Look at that cover. I'll update y'all when I have actual thoughts. Then for our red book, To Cage a Wild Bird. Now, I've heard a lot of different things about this, but most people have said that it is a dystopian romance. I do believe it is an adult romance. I think it's a first in a series. And we're following a girl who essentially gets herself arrested so she can save her brother from the prison system. And I'm guessing it's some sort of Hunger Games gladiator style situation where if you get arrested, the elite people in power can basically use you as their pawn in a war game sort of situation. And that's all I know. Also, pretty sprayed edges. Let's give it a moment for that. Then for my out of comfort zone read. Again, gothic romance, not necessarily out of my comfort zone, neither is fantasy. But we all know how much I've tried. And I've tried to enjoy vampire romance. I'm just not an angsty girly. The only vampire romance and the only vampire that I've ever fallen in love with is Lestat from the Interview with the Vampire TV show. And is that just because Lestat or Sam Reed? Who knows? But The Poisoner is an adult gothic romance following a girly who likes to poison men and this vampire that she tries to poison or gets intrigued by. And I think it's some sort of predator and prey situation, and it's the first in a series. So I don't know how that's going to work out. But, hey. Now, I do own Daggermouth physically. I do own that physically. However, it's over there. And I'm not getting up to do it. Daggermouth by H.M. Wolf. You know it. You've heard of it. Everyone and their mama did talk about it on the internet. It is a dystopian romance following an assassin who is sent to take out the son of the head leader of the dystopian government. But when that mission fails, she is essentially forced to marry this kid as punishment, but there might be more to him than we previously thought. And that's all I know, and all I know is there's multiple love interests, and I'm ready for feminine rage. And then for the last book, Sip's About to Go Down, Small Town Romance. I know shit about this book. All I know is a small town, there's a bar, and I think it's a dislike to love situation. That's all I know. Could be second chance, could be something else. But it feels like dislike to love. But that's our small town romance. You'll see it on the screen. And yeah, those are all the books that I picked for the month of May. If you can't tell after the shitty time that I've had, we're really paring back, really taking stock of taking care of ourselves. And one of the things that usually helps me in feeling better is removing screen time from me and applying that screen time to reading, especially with, not having headaches or getting really worn out and exhausted, something to really decompress my brain. So that is the goal going into May and the rest of the summer, is to work more on reading more and watching less. And that particularly pertains to social media and TV and television. I don't know if I'll achieve that, obviously, because I post on social media, but we'll see. Let me know what you're reading in the month of May. What are your goals for this upcoming summer season when it comes to reading? And I will see y'all in the next one.